Hi everyone, welcome to the Man's Cave. I'm your host Jared Jorgensen. Today's video we're going to be making a resin bonded sandstone sculpture. These are doorstops made out of resin and sand. That's it. That's the only two ingredients. Super simple process. You may remember seeing this guy here. This is a zinc cast done with the lost wax process, and it was a few videos ago. In fact, one of the videos that sparked on the idea for these was a resin bonded sand for casting metals. And in that process, I used some of this sand as a top coat, and it looked really cool. And I thought, you know, I think that'd make a really cool sculpture. So I decided to go ahead and make some, and these are the two that I did. And they turned out fantastic. You do have to have a mold that is open on the bottom, that you have access to be able to force the sand into it. Other than that, you have a big array of sculpture that could be made with this. You could even make sculpture bases. I mean, there's a lot of things that could be done with this product, as it is really strong, looks amazing, and is relatively inexpensive. So these come right around $5 for the cost of materials. I'm using a resin that I got at Hobby Lobby. This is a amazing brand, clear cast resin. It's a clear cast and coating resin. Just an epoxy resin. You can get a similar product at Home Depot, at Lowe's, places like that, or even on Amazon for that matter. But super easy to find. In fact, if you bought it in the gallon sizes, it comes in a little cheaper, so you could bring down the cost, you know, maybe from $5 to $3 to $4. So that would depend on how much you purchased your resin for. Like I say, there's 4 ounces of resin in each one of these. The rest is sand. But it works really well, and I'm excited to show you guys the process. So let's jump right in and show you guys how to make a resin bonded sandstone sculpture.
All right, everybody, let's get started. So what we're going to do is 1 part resin to 15 parts sand. And I kind of have a general idea of how much I need already, so I'm just measuring that out. This is a larger grain sand that I had laying around that I'm using. Here's the resin I'm using. Again, I found that at Hobby Lobby. But lots of different resins will work, so this is not the resin that's required. So just measuring out part A and part B in equal parts, and then we'll mix it up really well. So when you mix resin, it's not as critical on the resin bonded sand, but you do have to get it completely mixed so that the resin will cure properly and not have any sticky remnants. So mixing it up really well is definitely required. But sometimes you'll see when people mix resins, they'll dump it into another cup and mix it one more time. That's not required in this case. So. And then at this point, when you mix the resin in with the sand, you are going to slowly mix it in. So you're just going to drizzle it in. If you dump the whole thing in, it's going to be a big clumpy mess. So just mix it in really slowly. And this, I'm using a drill with an egg beater attachment to it. I just pick those up at the thrift store when I see them. They're $1 or $2 a piece. And they work really good in the drills. So once you're mixed up and the sand is uniform, you're going to start adding the sand to your mold. And as you're adding it, we're needing to compress it into place in a way that fills all of the voids. So you're going to have to pay particular attention if there's undercuts in your mold. So just think about those areas that could trap air bubbles. It's less likely with the resin bonded sand, as it's porous and it's not going to trap an air bubble per se. But you can miss, not get enough pushed up into those those undercuts. So anyway, yeah. So I let this sit overnight after I had pressed it into the mold, and I use the cellophane to hold the mold together as it's kind of an awkward shape, and it seems to work really well. So that's how I hold this mold in particular together. Not all molds, but this works really well on this one. So that's what I do. Anyway, demolding, just like anything else, whether if you're casting resin or concrete or plasters of any kind, you just want to be careful. You don't want to break something off that doesn't need to be broken off. So I'm mixing up another batch here, and the same thing, 15 parts sand, 1 part resin, and we'll just go ahead and compress her down in again, and we'll have a kind of an off-white skull version as well. I just wanted to try a couple different colors to see how this worked. And the cool thing with this sand is I think there's so many projects that this could be used for. I've been racking my brain what it could be used for, and future projects that I may use it on. So anyway, tell me in the comments below what you guys are going to be using it on, or if you have any other ideas of items that could be created with this method. So obviously we'll be doing more metal casting with the resin bonded sand. I think it's awesome. So again, I let this sit overnight, so this is a complete another day. And this sand was a little bit lighter grain, and so it's a little softer, not by a lot. It's plenty strong for the sculpture, but you could almost go 10-to-1 or 12-to-1 on this one. So pay attention to the grain size. If it's needing, it's not very saturated in resin, you'll just have to play with it with the sand that you have. But it turned out fantastic either way on this, and I'm happy with it. So there's a second skull. Come out near perfect. Now if you have seams of any kind in your mold, it will show up in there, and my seams are kind of off a little bit because I had some residual wax in there. So just clean it up here. And this is a diamond bit that I picked up at Harbor Freight. I picked up a whole set. I don't know if they carry them anymore, but they are available on Amazon. I'll find them on Amazon and put them in the description box for you so you can find them. But it carves this up really quick and easy, so it makes this super fast. Now there's no resin on the outside of the area where we just cleaned up, so I'm just using a clear coat. Any clear coat's going to work on this. It won't be 100% perfect, but it'll be pretty darn close. I just mixed up a little bit of resin here, what I thought would be enough to glue in the handholds for the skulls, the skull doorstops. So super easy way to glue those in. And we'll go ahead and let that sit several hours before we do anything, and overnight before we grab a hold of them. So just signing my name to them. I thought it was a good idea. And this is just padding you can buy for the bottom of toolboxes and things like that. So it's just and then I cut it to the shape of the bottom of the skull. So not rocket science here, just using contact adhesive to glue it together. So you paint it on both sides, let it dry to the touch, and then it's ready to bond together. So contact cement is fantastic stuff. This is actually the older adhesive, and it works really well. Not sure I like the new stuff that they've come out with, but anyway, there you have it. As simple as that. This will protect the sculpture from getting too dinged up easily, and then protect the floor from the sand scratching the crap out of your floor. So there you have it, guys. There's a resin bonded sand sculpture. These are door stops that I'm thinking about giving these away here in the future. I'll give you details in the near future on that and what we're doing. So thanks for watching. Subscribe and share these videos with your friends. I have a lot of projects coming in the future I think that you may enjoy. So hopefully you stick with us, and we will see you in the next video.